Once the introduction phase is over, an industry enters the growth stage. The price of products is relatively high as customers become price insensitive when few competitors operate on the market and there are little or no substitutes available. By keeping the price high in the early stages, companies cover their initial investments relatively quickly. However, this also makes the industry more attractive to new entrants. Makes sense, right? If a person opens the first restaurant in a city, she should charge higher prices because there is no competition. This will be a very profitable business that will attract attention from other people who decide to open restaurants too. So, we can conclude that in the growth phase, sales grow and profits follow, which leads to increased levels of competition. The good thing is the pie is still growing, so sales increase for most participants in the market. The more companies enter the industry, the more money is spent on advertising and more customers will be reached. So that's good news. The challenge becomes winning a bigger portion of the pie. This can be done in several ways. Companies can spend on advertising, increasing their own brand popularity among existing customers. Alternatively, they can invest in production capacity, which would result in economies of scale. A higher production capacity allows for the manufacturing of more units, so unitary costs will decrease. Regardless of whether we sell 10,000 or 20,000 units of a product, the salaries paid for accounting, administration, IT, and top management are more or less the same, right? Well, the more units we sell, the lower the cost per unit we will have, given that fixed costs remain the same, as suggested by their name. Electric cars are between their introduction and growth phase, and Tesla is preparing to build the biggest plant in the world, which would allow it to produce more electric batteries than any other company in the world and cope with the demand for its mass-market Model 3. It is not infrequent for companies to expand internationally during the growth phase. New geographies are an exciting opportunity, as firms can market their goods abroad after they have done the heavy lifting at home. In the globalized world of today, if an industry manages to break through and become popular in one country, it is more than likely that many consumers would have heard of it and would try it in other countries as well. Production-wise, in some situations of the early stages of the life cycle, the demand may be higher than the supply, which could result in capacity shortages. We call this a seller's market. As it's easy for sellers to find buyers, while buyers have a tough time finding the product. Most efforts throughout the growth stage are directed towards one goal: winning a higher market share. A higher market share positions a company in a favorable way for when the business becomes profitable and is close to maturity. A sizable share would result in a strong brand awareness, favorable cost structure, and bargaining position, and in more sales, which will ultimately translate in a very profitable business. Stay tuned, because in our next video, we'll discuss how to succeed in the maturity phase of an industry. Thanks for watching.